very excited that Abby Davies is back with us for an author chat. Do you want to start us off with an introduction to yourself and your books?
Yeah, so if you've not seen me before, behind me you might be able to see a creepy display. There's a doll and a couple of books and a knife and a big spider. And my dad actually made that for me for my first book, which was Mother Loves Me. So that is a psychological thriller about a girl who is brought up and treated like a doll by her mother. And then one day her mother comes home with a birthday present for 13-year-old Mirabelle. And when she opens up the duffel bag, there's a little 5-year-old girl inside there that mother says she's rescued from utopia. And that kind of kicks off the story. So that's quite a creepy one. And then my second book is The Cult, which is about two children who get taken and they end up being. I don't want to give it away. It's so hard to give it, not to give it away. But it's quite a dark one. It's got Uncle Xavier, who's like the leader of the cult, and he's quite heavily brainwashed everybody. And then it's got a detective who's trying to track down the children, and it kind of all of the timelines and the plots sort of collide. So this is actually the Czech Republic version, not the English one, as you can see. The English one, I actually embarrassingly gave my last copy away, so I need to get another one. And then my third one is Arrietty. This is a not for resale version. Again, I've given all my copies away, so I need to get myself another one. But this is my most recent one, and it's about a 17-year-old girl whose mother she wakes up one day and her mother's literally just gone. And her father's being quite strange and disturbing. And Arrietty is trying to work out what on earth has happened to her mother, where she's gone. And there are some other people who she thinks might be involved. And so she's trying to work it out. And then things notch up a gear when something else really, really bad happens. And she's kind of on a nightmarish journey to sort of survive and discover the truth. So yeah, and my next one is called Her Number One Fan, but I haven't got that. I haven't got a physical copy of that yet.
Ooh. So we've waited for a while, and then we're going to get 2 books.
Yes, yeah, I'm on a mission now. My mission is to publish 18 in the next 5 years, so I'm really going for it.
Well done. I love. Sam has just said that she loves the cover, and I really do like your cover of Arrietty.
Oh, thank you. It's quite bright, isn't it?
Yeah,
Stands out.
and different.
Yeah. This was the first book that I had some input into the cover design. And I really, really wanted a harsh contrast between black and sort of charcoal, which sort of evokes the gothic art that's in the book, and then like a bright, harsh background. And my art cover design is just absolutely amazing. He's such a clever guy.
I was gonna. Then my next question would have been to ask if you designed the cover.
Yeah, well, I definitely did a brief for it, and he just completely knew what I meant. Like I wanted the double exposure effect. So I don't know if you can see, but it's got the sort of shattered glass effect, and where the image in the center of her throat sort of is faded in. I think that's called masking or double exposure. And I was teaching a pupil. I was covering a photography lesson, and they'd been doing a photography project using double exposure and masking, and I thought it was absolutely amazing to look at, and that's what I wanted all of my covers from now on to use those kinds of effects.
It's amazing the things you can pick up teaching, isn't it?
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
Normally germs, but occasionally.
Yeah. Normally germs and snot, yeah. Dodging the coughs.
Did you?
Oh, thank you. I just saw what Laura Hamilton said. Arrietty was fab, so hard to discuss without spoiling. Brilliant, thank you. Yeah, it's a very tricky one to discuss without giving spoilers away. So we've got a challenge on our hands.
I know. And when you were coming up with the title, because I saw you did like votes on the title, didn't you? But
Yeah.
Arrietty is the name of the girl in The Borrowers.
Yes, I know. I think that's where the name came from in the back of my head because I loved the Borrowers growing up. Did you read them or did you watch the program as well?
I love The Borrowers, the story, and I like the Studio Ghibli film Arrietty.
Yeah, yeah. I've not watched that. I knew about that film, Arrietty, but I've not watched it. And I was a little bit worried about calling it that because that's very famous. But I just, in my head, that character was Arrietty, and I just couldn't change it. And then the general feedback, the general consensus was that Arrietty was the title to go for. So I thought, well, that's what I really want to call it. And that's what most people are saying. So I'm going to go for it.
I guess you might not get too much crossover between people who love like Studio Ghibli and crime
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
as well. There's only the occasional nerd like me that loves both.
Yeah, very eclectic. Yeah. The thing is, if you put into Amazon Arrietty, the Studio Ghibli one comes up. So it's like, you have to add Abby Davies at the end, and then my book comes up.
Yeah, when I went looking for it to buy it, it was
Yeah.
I had to type in your name.
The
Have
next
you
one's called Her Number One Fan.
Yeah, what can you tell us about the next one?
Yeah, so it's influenced by Stephen King's Misery. I would say it's kind of a mashup of Stephen King's Misery and The Last Thing to Burn by Will Dean. Have you come across that?
I've heard of it, I've not read that one by Will Dean.
Yeah, but yeah, obviously with my kind of slightly slightly horror sort of twist on it. It's quite a dark one. It's about a woman who gets taken, and the man who takes her wants something that you would never expect he wants from her.
Ah. See, I love how dark you go with your books.
Yeah, I
They're
do.
so
I do get quite going.
surprisingly dark, aren't they? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I really don't. I think if my imagination's going there, I don't really censor myself. I just go with it because I think why not? And I really admire writers like Stephen King, who doesn't hold back, and he just lets his imagination run away with him.
I asked this question of an author the other day. How hard is it though to go really dark and not cross a line,
Um,
or to toe that line between dark but not too far?
yeah, so where it's sort of like gratuitous violence or gratuitous horror. Yeah, I mean, I think I don't really like pure horror films like Saw and things like that. So for me, I would never go towards that sort of line. I wouldn't go that far. And I think also if you're writing psychological thrillers, you sort of need to think about delivering what the reader expects and what the reader wants. So, which is a very different bag to if you're writing pure horror, you know, or something that's sort of like dystopian that's really, really going to have some serious dark stuff in it. Have you ever read like a book where you felt that it went past the line?
I've read books where I think it's towed the line
Yeah.
and got very close. And I've read some manga that has crossed the line and I've stopped reading it.
Oh, tell me. Or are you being tactful?
No, because it's not anyone in the group, but I can't remember the titles, things where it's like crossed the boundaries of like taste or appropriateness, and then it's just been like, no, I won't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But it goes
Yeah,
too far.
it makes me think a little bit of the Walking Dead series. So did you watch it?
No.
Or basically the villain Negan kills one of the main characters in a really barbaric, brutal fashion, and quite a lot of fans stopped watching the series because of that. That it's just a pure example of where, for a lot of people, they went too far.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not going to say how he does it, but my husband and I, when we watched that, our jaws were just dropped, and we nearly stopped watching it, but we didn't.
But that's the thing, isn't it? I think sometimes there is that danger when you go really dark that you can go too far, and it's like, I guess you're playing also with that. You said you go as far as people would expect with psychological kind of thrillers and things, but then I guess everyone has different expectations as well when they're reading.
Yeah, I mean, I think my sort of something that makes my psychological thrillers a little bit different is that the kind of a hint of the gothic does kind of permeate my writing. So, and like you said, they do go pretty dark. But I think I don't really want to give it away. But usually, well, no, I don't think I would ever do one of those endings where you do something really tragic and horrific at the end. Like, have you read or heard of How the Mist Ends by Stephen King?
I started watching The Mist, but I don't think I got to the end.
Oh my god, the ending is so brutal. I don't want to give it away to people who are watching, but if you want an example of an ending that really, really, really sticks with you and you will never forget that ending and it's so horrific, read The Mist or watch The Mist. I actually haven't read it, I watched it. Yeah, so
Laura's gone on to say nice things about number one fan. So
thank you. So if you sign up to my subscribe to my newsletter, you can kind of get the first few chapters of her number one fan for free. Oh, I love it. Yeah, so it does sort of start with sort of a leap forward that's quite shocking, and then it kind of pulls back a little bit. And you kind of get to know a little bit more about the main character and her story and the problems she's facing in her life, and then it kind of goes back into the intensity for the rest of the book. But yeah, it's kind of like a trapped room thriller.
Cool. That's good. I like locked room thrillers, especially ones that play with the idea of them.
Yeah, that's clever, isn't it?
I think those are really good.
Have you read What Lies Between Us by John Mars? That's a trap room thriller, and it's really, really good. It's very cleverly done, and I've just got to one of the big reveals, and I think I know where it's going, but I'm sort of excited to see what happens. But he's a really great author. I need to read more of John Mars.
I always recommend North Sea Tale by Chris Peck for a locked room thriller. It's on a trawler off the coast of like the north of England. So it has to be like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
what happens? It has to be the people they're on there because no one can get off the boat.
Yeah, but I like that.
It's quite interesting because it's not a typical
trapped room.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a clever concept. Yeah,
it is. It's really well done. Like really well researched as well.
Oh, look, Laura said What Lies was a real head twister. Yeah, I completely know. That's a great description, actually. A head twister. I love that. It's a little bit like with Arrietty. I just flashed the cover again, so I love it. Arrietty's like you can't really talk about it because it's got a few twists in. And I think I'm really, really pleased because I think only 2 people so far who've reviewed it have said that they guessed the big twist. So I'm really, really pleased about that.
I'm not far enough in to have got to the big twist, I don't think.
Oh, which page are you up to?
I'm not very far in because I've just been really busy, but I am enjoying it.
Shame on you.
You know I'm gonna like it though. I'm a big fan of yours.
I hope so.
Like all the rest of your books are great.
Thank you. And my next one is the one I've started now. Another one I've started is called at the moment it's called The Wrong Island, and it's like a destination thriller about this family who end up on this island, and there's something really, really sinister on the island, but it's not supernatural.
Cool.
But yeah, basically it's about them trying to survive. It's like 2 parents and 3 children. So yeah, very, very much enjoying writing that one.
How are you finding doing the self-publishing route? That
Um,
wasn't how you went initially, was it? But
no,
what
so my
what made
first 2
you
were
learn?
with HarperCollins. So that was Mother Loves Me and the Cult. And basically they said they were sort of narrowing down their thriller list. And my agent basically told me that because The Cult didn't sell as well as Mother Loves Me, and it's a very cutthroat industry, that's why they were dropping me. So it took me 17 years to make that happen, and then they just dropped me like that. So it is a very cutthroat industry. No bitterness here. But anyway, so I nearly got taken on by a couple of other editors, but they wanted me to change the way I write and kind of tailor my writing to their readers. And I want to write what I want to write, and I can write quite quickly. So I want to write and produce books as quickly as I can and get my work out there rather than it taking a year to 2 years for every book to get out there. And so I'm actually really enjoying the indie process, but obviously it's a bit daunting because the problem is you can't get it into supermarkets. And so that's a major thing that traditional publishers can do. But it's on Ingram Spark, which means that it can get into Waterstones and all that kind of thing. So I'm looking forward to that happening. And I'm just trying to sort of really, really connect with my readers. And, I'm really enjoying that side of it. But, the boring side of it, or like the Facebook adverts and Amazon adverts and stuff like that, my dad's doing that for me. So he's doing all the boring stuff, and I'm just trying to focus on connecting with people and enjoying chatting about books and doing this sort of thing, and then writing my books and editing them to death to make sure they're a really, 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 really high standard. I've just sent her #1 fan out actually to one of my beta readers, so I'm really looking forward to getting her feedback on that.
So, what other kind of events have you got planned? Because obviously you're gonna have to step up your.
Um, Yeah, so I'm going to Crime Fest in Bristol in May next year, and I'm also going to the book party again. Have you heard of the book party?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went to that one a couple of weeks ago, and I went to it last year as well, and I'm going to that in November again. So that's a great place to network and meet other authors and to rub shoulders with fans and find out what they're reading, what they're loving, what they're looking for next, and just connect. So yeah, it's good. And for her #1 fan, Lisa Jewell and Tim Logan are reading and quoting for me. So
Oh,
that's
brilliant.
great.
That's really good.
Thank you.
Sam said your dad's a sweetheart. Your dad is venturing into the author as
Yes,
well, isn't he?
it
'Cause he messaged
is.
me
Let me
today.
grab his book to show you. So he's writing a crime series about Luke Sackville, who's like an ex-Bath rugby player, and it's very much sort of set around Somerset area. He's got quite a lot of local locations in it. But he used to be he was an ex-DCI, and then tragedy struck his family, and he goes back into the workplace, but into sort of a security role rather than as a DCI. And then he kind of get this sort of like this rabble of a team together from the people who work at this massive company he started to work at. And then they sort of start to solve these crimes that are sort of linked with this company that they're working at. So it's a kind of different entry into detective the detective genre. But yeah, the same guy who designed my cover designed this cover. Ollie, his name's Ollie, and he works at More Visual. He's so stunningly talented, and my dad's just like, he's got quite a lot of humor in his books as well. He's a real fan of and very heavily influenced by J.D. Kirk and David Gatwood. Have you read them?
I have, and I've interviewed them as well.
Oh yes, yeah. So and Dave Gatwood lives quite near us, so we're going to meet up for a drink with him soon, hopefully,
Nice.
and chat self-publishing because they're self-published authors as well.
Yeah, and doing pretty well as well. So
Yeah, very well. Yeah,
good for some tips. Yeah,
but
you're
they said they tried to get traditionally published initially, and they couldn't do it, so they were like, let's just self-publish. And it just shows how, you know, I strived for 17 years to get traditionally published, but I could have probably just done it myself. Like, do you know what I mean?
a lot of authors either go the hybrid route, so some will
Yeah,
stick with a publisher and then have some
yeah.
self-publish, or do you self-publish now? So I think there's a lot of benefits to self-publishing.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. You can control things. You can see how well you can monitor and evaluate and assess and analyze day by day rather than waiting like 6 months to a year for a report on sales. And you can kind of identify what's working and what isn't. And you don't get very much help at all from publishers. You know, in terms of guidance in what to do. And, you know, so it is, I mean, I have learned a lot through self-publishing and through publish traditionally. And the thing that I miss the most, I suppose, is like having a very experienced editor look at my work. But I've got beta readers, I've got alpha readers, and I feel like because I've been doing this for a long time now and I've written copious amounts of books over the last 20 years, I feel like I've kind of learnt quite a lot, and I can, if I put it away for a little bit and come back to it, I've got that sort of objective distance where I can see things better now than I used to be able to. Obviously, you can pay for editors, but that's just another thing to add to your budget. So yeah, there are pros and cons to both sides. I'm still with my agent, Ewan Thornycroft. So, you know, it may be that I decide to give him one of my future books and see if he can find an editor for me. But I'm just going to crack on at the moment and get as many out as quickly as I can.
Yeah, that makes sense. Have you got the rights back from Mother Loves Me and the Cult, or are you leaving them with HarperCollins?
No, I didn't know I could get the rights back.
Yeah, I think you can.
But how? Do you have to buy them out or something?
No, I mean, it's worth asking someone else who has. I'll have a think about who has and let you know, because you can get the rights back and publish them yourself.
Oh my God. Well, that would be great because then I can play about with the prices, because at the moment I have no control over that. You know, I can't do offers, I can't do deals and that kind of thing.
Yeah, Sam says check your contract.
Yeah, thank you. You two are so knowledgeable. It's great.
Well, I guess we hang with a lot of authors, so you just
Yeah,
get what kind of information from talking to people.
yeah.
I connected. People are saying on here that they hadn't connected S.J. Richards. They've seen the cover, but not connected it with your dad.
Yeah.
He
How
dropped
did
me
you
a
do that?
message about doing something in the group, so I had connected because he'd said it
Yeah.
was Abby's. He was like, "I'm Abby's dad."
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
He's a very proud dad. We're on a
we love
mission
it.
together.
We love it in the group. That's how we discovered you, isn't it? Your dad posting pictures of you signing
Yeah.
the book.
He's like my number one fan. Not in a dark, scary, psychotic way, like in her number one fan. But yeah, no, he's absolutely amazing. He's been there through this whole journey from when I wrote my first book when I was 18. He's read and helped me edit every single book.
That
Like,
must be helping him though, when he wants to go on his journey of writing. Like,
Yeah.
having done that process with you quite a lot.
Yeah. My mum and I are his alpha readers, and because I edit manuscripts, but one of my jobs is that I edit manuscripts for Jericho writers. So I read aspiring novelists' manuscripts and then I write a whole report on it and everything like that. And so I did offer to do that for him actually, but he's pushing them out so quickly. It's where he's popping them out really quickly, these books. So there isn't really time for me to do that. But I'm like giving him the best feedback I could possibly give. But yeah, it's very exciting for both of us.
It really is. You could do like some kind of father and daughter author events. Like,
I
go to
know
milestones and do like
that's a cool idea. I was thinking about we should try and do a book signing or something. And also my dad's going to the book party in November. It's in Birmingham. So we're both going to go to that. So that would be really cool. But yeah, no, we should try and do an event together. It's a good plan.
worth contacting your local bookstores.
Yeah.
Often, especially if you're sort of starting out, they do quite like sort of two authors together.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Things. That'd be quite good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'd love that. That would be really cool. And they've got some beautiful bookshops in Bath, which isn't that far from us.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah.
I have been to Bath, but not for any, not to the bookstores.
Yeah. Did you go to Harrogate?
Yeah.
Oh, how was it?
It was good. You should do Harrogate as well, worth doing.
I've done it once. I did it once a few years ago. But yeah, no, it was really, really interesting. And my dad went to Crime Fest just in May or April, and he said he learned some good stuff there. Yeah.
Yeah, Harrogate is really good.
Yeah.
For just meeting lots of authors and having the chance to talk to people.
Yeah.
Both me and Sam went this year.
Oh, did you? Oh, cool. Lovely. So do you have quite a lot of psychological thriller readers on your
Yeah,
Facebook?
I think there's a good crossover because if
Yeah.
you think about it, like that psychological thriller kind of domestic noir genre
Yeah.
fits really nicely with crime, and a lot of people
Yeah.
who read crime don't just want to read like a police procedural book. They want a little something a bit different. I think there's a massive sort of interest in psychological thrillers.
Yeah. It's like a subgenre, isn't it?
Yeah, because they're so close together, aren't they, genre?
Yeah.
Do you read a lot of psychological thrillers?
Yeah, I've got tons and tons and tons and tons and tons in my house. Yeah, I've just ever since I discovered that was my genre in 2012, I've just read so many of those books. And I think when I read Before I Go to Sleep by S.J. Watson, that just hooked me on the genre. So yeah, I find it quite hard because I do like reading other genres, but I just love psychological thrillers so much that I find myself always kind of putting that at the top of the TBR pile.
Well, so this is my perfect time to ask you my favourite question, which is what have you read recently that you've enjoyed?
I'll get them. I'll go and get them. Hang on, I'll be back in a sec.
Oh, you've gone on a journey to get them. Gives us a chance to admire your creepy picture behind you, though, while you're gone.
It's so creepy, isn't it?
Brilliant.
My dad is so clever. He made that whole thing. Like he made the frame and everything. And can you see it's got like yeah. So the attic, the bomb shelter door actually opens. It's so cool. He made me one for the cult as well. but it might be a bit. If you can see it up there, you see it?
Yes.
It's got like a syringe and filled with fake blood and everything. It's so gross. So yeah, I absolutely love this. The Last House on Needless Street. Have you read that?
I haven't, no.
Oh my god, it's so cool and clever, and it's just really complex. It's got a bit of horror in there. It's good. Have you heard of The Institution by Helen Fields?
I haven't read that either though.
Yeah, so I did really enjoy this, but it was kind of like a slow burn for the first sort of 300 pages of the book, and then it kicked off, and I absolutely loved the ending. But Helen Fields is such a brilliant writer. Like, I would just recommend this book purely based on how well she writes. Like, her narrative and writing style is incredible. And then I really enjoyed, this was my first Tim Logan book. Have you read Tim? No.
No, we don't cross over in our reading at all, do
Not
we?
much. Yeah, this is the problem. But yeah, I mean, this is like friends go on holiday with their husbands and their children, and one of them suspects that their husband is cheating on her with one of the other husband's wives that's on the holiday with them. So she's trying to work out which of these three women it is that her husband's cheating on her with. But during that, there's like a backstory where something criminal has gone on, and then one of the characters gets killed off. So then it becomes like really quite intense and quite dark. And I really enjoyed that. And he's an absolutely brilliant writer as well. I just loved his writing style. So I'm going to be devouring the rest of his books. So yeah, it's exciting.
It is.
What about you?
Well, we tend to read books for like the author chats. So, which is probably why I've not read all the you've listed. My book of the year is A Maiden by Kate Foster at the moment.
Oh, right. So how would you describe that in 3 words?
True. It's like a true historical book.
Oh, right. Okay. So
but it's a fictional spin on a true story.
Oh, right. Is it really moving?
Yes.
What's the general idea?
So it's based on a real person who killed their uncle and lover and were executed for it. And they know that happened, like it's fact. And then the woman who's written it has kind of imagined all the events that led up to her doing that.
No, right. Yeah. So do you start the book not knowing that she kills him?
Well, you know because it's a real case.
Oh, right. So you already know what she's going to do.
You already know because it's based on an actual crime. Like this person really did do it, and they really were executed for it.
Yeah, but it's really fascinating to sort of see the story leading up to like why this author's imagined why and how she goes about it. Yeah, and why she does it.
In the area of Edinburgh, it's like quite a famous ghost story.
Oh.
So, like, if you were reading it sort of up in that area, you would know the story.
Oh wow, cool! That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's like really cool. It's like quite an interesting concept, I think.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But it was really well done.
Yeah. You could do that with a lot of people, couldn't you? It's a really good idea for a book.
Yeah.
Like there are so many folklore and folk tales throughout Britain. You could choose one of those and reimagine what led to the ending. Yeah.
Yeah, it happened long enough ago. No one is really going to know, are they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
It was quite clever. And it was quite creepy in places. I like books that, like you were saying, yours can kind of have those little horror flavors. I quite like to read horror, so I don't mean that as a flavor in my.
Yes. I'd like that. Yeah, I really like the creep factor. I like it when you're kind of like on the edge of your seat and you've sort of got shivers down your spine. Yeah, I love that. Oh, Laura said, have you read Sundial? Have read Sundial, but need. Yeah. Oh, I've not read Sundial. Oh, cool. Yeah, Tim Logan's so good, isn't he? He's really good. And no, have you read The Fascination by Essie Fox? I think I've seen that. I'll have to look into that one. I've actually got a notepad and a pink pen to write down any recommendations because I'm going on holiday next week, and I've got like 4 definites I'm taking. I'll go and get them. Hang on, I just did a post on it.
I saw your post, I think.
Yeah. So I cannot not try this because it's got like 150,000 reviews now, and it's supposed to be absolutely mind-blowingly good. And it's not too long. I love the cover as well. So I'm definitely taking that one. Have you come across this one?
No.
It's like grimly engrossing with a sucker punch ending. It's basically a dystopian imagining of a future that is cannibalistic.
I love a good dystopian book, though.
Yeah, me too. Like The Handmaid's Tale. Oh my god, it's amazing. I really love Divergent and Hunger Games and Maze Runner. I really went through a phase of reading all of those as well.
Yeah, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
I met up with Sarah Moorhead at Harrogate, who writes some of my favourite books of all time.
Yeah. Oh wow, amazing.
They're like
I went
really dystopic and a bit futuristic and really clever.
Yeah, I love dystopian. I actually wrote a YA dystopian that nearly got published. So I'm thinking I might give that away for free, or I don't know, I might self-publish it. But the thing is, because I'm just self-publishing psychological thrillers, I then have to do a whole different, if I was targeting YA, I'm not really sure. It's quite a long book. But it's about where women rule the world and treat men really, really badly. And they basically, yeah, I don't want to go into too much detail. And I actually can't even remember, to be honest, but it was good. My dad's saying, oh, you need to publish it. And then this one, Dean Koontz, The House at the End of the World. I love Dean Koontz. Have you read him?
No?
He's absolutely amazing. I devoured his books when I was a teenager. Absolutely devoured him. He's just such a good writer. But this looks so cool. I can't really sum it up for you, but it says she survived the unimaginable. How prepared is she for the unbelievable? And it's set in a fortress-like stone house on Jacob's Ladder Island.
Oh, cool.
And there's a secret on the neighboring island, a government research facility. So it just sounds amazing. And then my fourth book was the 7. Is it called The 7 Lives of Evelyn Hardcastle? Was that?
So is that the Stuart Turton one?
Yes. Yeah. And when I did an interview the other day, somebody said it was absolutely amazing. So I'm going to read that one on holiday as well. But I'm looking for recommendations if anybody's got something that they just could not put down. Because I really want something that I literally, even if Heidi screams for help and is lost on the beach, I'm just like, what? Okay, just carry on reading. I'm just like, Tommy, you go and get her. I'm reading.
It depends what you like. I read this really good book called The Babysitter's Coven that is a bit like if you let Stephen King write The Babysitter's Club.
Oh, wow. Is it like The Craft? Have you seen that film from the 90s? Love that film.
Yeah, it's got flavours of that. It's kind of like a bit like, I don't know, like the guys who wrote Stranger Things and Stephen King get together to write The Babysitter's Club.
Oh my God, that sounds epic. Absolutely epic.
It is absolutely brilliant. I couldn't put that down once I got going.
Amazing. Yeah.
It was so weird and brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, we've got some more. So I'm writing these down. End of Story by Louise Swanson. Yeah, I've definitely heard of that one. Dystopia with a twist. I love that. one by Eve Smith. I check all these out. I really wanted to read Stephen King's new one, the fairy tale one, but it's like typically long, and I just don't know if I kind of have the patience these days for really long books. I'm really bad. I just want to like read as many as I possibly can, because it feels like books are coming out so fast, and you just want to kind of like get them while they're hot, you know.
Well, it's authors who want to bring out 18 books in like how many years?
I've got two others that just need editing that are already written.
How
as
quickly
well.
do you write a book then? Because she said you write quickly.
About one every 3 months. So yeah, I want to try and get, because I'm a bit ahead at the moment, because I've got like Her Number One Fan, Girl Disturbed, that's like the working title, and The Girl Who Heard Maggots. Those three are basically just need a tiny bit of editing and then they're done. So because I'm ahead, it means that The Wrong Island, which I'm writing now, you know, if I write 3 months write one every 3 months, I can, you know, it should be quite, should be able to stay on it, get 4 out a year. So that's my target.
Brilliant. It genuinely makes me happy that you're writing so many more books, because I
Thank
loved
you.
Mother Loves Me when it came out. You know, I was a massive fan of Mother.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. The cult was
really struck a chord with you. You really like the creepiness, don't you? Like me?
I do, yeah. I love a creepy book, and it was so inventively different.
Yeah. Thank you.
It was absolutely brilliant, and the cult was great. Arrietty, as far as I've read it, is great. So
Thank you. Do you like the artwork in it?
it's exciting. Yeah, I like the little hints of art. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I wish I could put more in, to be honest, but do you know that was a nightmare? Trying to format the book and get the pixels down and get the size right and the positioning right for each picture. It was
Did
difficult.
you do the artwork in the book?
Pardon?
Is the artwork in the book your artwork?
No, I had a friend's dad did it for me. So I'll just find one. Right. You probably haven't seen that one yet.
That's a good one, though. It's like Creepy Babies.
Yeah. It's from the Island of the Dolls. Have you ever heard of it?
I have heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, I started writing a book set on it once.
Really?
Yeah, which I might rewrite and carry on with. But yeah, such a creepy place. I'd love to visit that. But yeah, he's really, really talented artist, and he didn't charge me very much at all for those pictures. And it was just lovely because you know, Arrietty and her mum are artists. I just really wanted to have a bit of artwork in it, and I was really influenced by Hidden Pictures by Jason Reculak and Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Have you seen or read either of those? They've both got artwork
I've not read Hidden Pictures, but I'm a huge fan of the Miss Peregrine series.
Oh, right. Of the what, sorry?
The Miss Peregrine's Home.
Oh, Miss Peregrine's, yeah, absolutely.
So good. I've read all of them. Love them.
How many are there?
There's like a whole series. There's about 6, I think.
Oh my God, I've only read the first one. I didn't know there were more.
There are loads. And then there's some tales of the peculiar as well that go alongside them.
Oh, wow. The photography in that is just so eerie and gothic and creepy, isn't it?
But they're like real pictures as well, aren't they? Doesn't he go and find like the genuine, like
disturbing,
like weird pictures?
Yeah, actually saying that, my it's funny, isn't it, how like a picture can distort reality. But like my dad took a picture of my 12-year-old nephew in Wells today, and it looks they're in the they're with all the pigeons and feeding the pigeons and stuff, and it looks like my 12-year-old nephew Harrison is ripping this pigeon's wing off. It looks like he's ripped this And my brother said, "Did Harry just rip that wing off that pigeon?" But it was just like the pigeon was actually behind his hand, but it looked like he'd ripped the wing off. So it is funny how you can catch these moments and it just distorts reality, doesn't it?
But I think then your problem, and possibly the same when you sort of think about like maybe making an adaptation of Arrietty, is when you adapt something that's got such a strong art style and such
Yeah.
a strong like visual thing, is very hard to do it and make the fans happy.
Yeah. How so?
Well, if you watched like I don't think anyone who likes the Miss Peregrine series of books likes the movie
Oh, right, yeah.
that was
Yeah.
made of it. I don't think
Yeah, that's true, actually. It gives it an extra thing that you have to get right in terms of representing it in a different format, in, a cinematic format, doesn't it?
yeah. And I think
Yeah.
you've got such a strong like I've often wondered because obviously like something like Mother Loves Me would make a great movie. But then it's how do you get that same sense of like that creepiness to work?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's a lot about lighting, I think. A lot of creepy lighting, shadows and that, and darkness. But with Arrietty, I've been trying to think, I don't think there's any way you could possibly ever televise it or turn it into a film. It's impossible. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Oh,
It's absolutely impossible. I just can't think of how it would happen.
because some of yours would make good films. Can you imagine, like, you would go to see a film of like Mother Loves Me. You don't like. I think that would draw quite a lot of people in.
I know. Unfortunately, no one's picked it up. No one wants to make it. But when I'm like, world famous, and I'm Strictly Come Dancing because I'm so famous for my writing and my books, then someone will make Mother Loves Me. But do you know what I actually did?
Go on,
I sent Mother Loves Me to Stephen King.
did you?
Because it was inspired by Carrie and other stuff like The Turn of the Screw by Henry James. That kind of creepy factor worked its way in there. But yeah, no, I sent it with a couple of little gifts and a letter to his fan mail office. So I'm hoping he'll read her number one fan and Mother Loves Me and give me a quote. Can you imagine?
That'd be cool. He did like. Did he do that to CJ Tudor or something? Like he read one of her books and like
Yeah,
spoke about
he
it,
said his quote. I actually know his quote for that. It was, "If you like my stuff, you'll love this."
which is kind of really cool, isn't it? Like that he
Really
obviously
cool.
is.
He is a legend. He's amazing.
I'm going back now, and in my head, I'm thinking through like the story of Mother Loves Me, and thinking, yeah, I get like the Carrie.
Oh my, it's her mother it's the mother-daughter relationship. Margaret White and Carrie is so scary.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like,
Yeah, and
what
she just
relationship?
I actually didn't read Carrie. I read it and I listened to it on audio, and it just chilled me to my bones. Reading that literally was so creepy and scary. That mother's character, and
It's
that
my
just
favorite Stephen King book.
yeah, and yeah, he just really lets loose on it, doesn't it? That was his first one that he got a contract with.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, and it's only we looked it up the other day actually. My dad and I were chatting about it, and I think it's only 60,000 words long.
But it doesn't need to be any longer, does it?
Exactly. There is definitely an art to getting a book the right length. So I'm hoping you don't think Arrietty's too long. It's my longest one.
Really?
Yeah.
Laura said the only way you could do Arrietty on film would be the camera being Arrietty, maybe.
Don't give it away, Laura. She's Caroline's not read it yet. She's not finished it. I know, yeah, that is actually something that occurred to me, but I still think it would be so hard to portray that. But that is funny, Laura, because that's kind of what I thought could potentially tiny bit work, but I still don't know how you'd pull it off.
Did you, when you were writing, do you write thinking about maybe someone wanting to adapt it, or do you not care? You just like...
I don't think about that at all when I write, but afterwards I'm like, oh my God, how cool would it be if this was turned into a film or a series? You know, and it's like a dream, isn't it? Of every author wants that to happen. It would be an absolutely incredible experience. Like to be on set and to maybe have a little input into how it's all put together and stuff. That would be amazing.
Would you want to do like a cameo?
Definitely. Like Stephen King does.
Yeah. Or I'm not going to show like my taste level of like terrible teen books, but the woman who wrote Twilight is in the Twilight movies in the cafe.
Oh, was she? Oh my gosh. And you know, it's not the same, but in Erin Brockovich, the woman whose life it was based on, she was a waitress in the cafe scene. Yeah, I would definitely do that. Definitely. I'd definitely want a speaking role as well.
Would you? Would you sneak your dad in as well? Would he get a role too?
Oh yeah, Dad would take over. Dad'd be like pushing Steven Spielberg out the chair. I'm doing it. I'm directing this.
Laura said like Stanley in the Marvel films.
Oh yes, yeah. Tommy told me about that. My husband told me he loves the Marvel films. Absolutely, complete fan. Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. He was always in them, wasn't he? It was like quite fun trying to spot him.
Oh yeah, and Laura just said Jane Harper is in the crowd scene in The Dry. That's so cool, isn't it? Can you imagine that? That would be so cool. I would
And I
love
guess
that.
it like is an extra kind of like nerd level for the people watching it if they could spot the author, because not everyone knows what authors look like, do they?
No, I know. I am denied about having a picture of me on the book, actually, but it just feels a bit like, I don't know. It doesn't sit comfortable. Like self-promotion, I do find a difficult thing to get my head round. It feels quite awkward to me and quite sort of vain and, but you just have to embrace it, don't you? If you want to try and spread the word about your art or whatever you do. Would you have a picture of yourself on your book?
No,
No.
I wouldn't have a picture of myself on anything if I could help it.
Don't say that.
To be fair, I hate pictures of me on things.
So funny. But yeah, no, obviously we know what Stephen King looks like. But yeah, there aren't many authors that you can kind of put a face to the name, are there?
No, but one of my favourite horror authors is Joe Hill, who's Stephen King's son.
Oh.
He publishes as Joe Hill to try and make his own way. And like no one knew he was Stephen King's son until he had some things out and things like that. But then if you actually go and see him at an author event, there is no way you wouldn't know that he was Stephen King's son.
Are they really similar looking?
So alike.
Yeah. Oh wow, funny.
Like massively.
Joe Hill, I'll have to try. I didn't know that. I know they co-wrote a book together, didn't they?
Or was that his other son?
Has he got two sons?
80s, yeah.
Oh God, I'm not a very good fan, am I? I didn't know he had two sons. I thought he just had one.
Yeah, there's Joe and Owen. Joe Hill just writes. Yeah, his books are amazing.
Are they? Oh, I'll have to try something. Would you? Can you remember a title of one that you'd recommend?
Either 20th Century Ghosts, which is his anthology, that haunts me to this day, or Heart-Shaped Fox.
Heart-Shaped
Fox. I'm finding my copy of it. I've got a signed copy of it.
Oh wow! Was he doing a tour in England or something?
Yeah.
Or does he live?
Yeah, he did a tour over here.
Oh, wow, cool. The lad I'm caring for used Tina Baker's author picture to pick which of her books his mum read first from the ones I lent her. Ah, that's lovely. Tina Baker was at the book party and she quoted for Arrietty.
That's cool.
Yeah, she's doing really well, I think, with her new book, Make Me Clean or Make Her Clean. Looks like it's going to be a really gripping read. Yeah,
She was
awesome.
like surrogate and had a dress on with her book cover all over it, which was really cool.
Yeah. She's so great at dressing up for these events. Like at the book party, she had a massive like crown on her head and this really cool red dress. She looked awesome. And at the last book party, she had a pineapple on her head. Not a real pineapple, like a fake kind of pineapple hat.
So you need to go to your next one dressed up?
Yeah, I'm actually thinking of going as a Christmas elf. I actually am. Or Mrs. Santa Claus.
You should be an elf.
Yeah, I'm quite short.
Are you? They'll definitely be an elf.
You should go to it. Would you? How far do you live from Birmingham?
Oh, it's a few hours because I went to Birmingham recently.
Oh, right.
It's like a good couple of hours, 2 or 3 hours, I think.
It's really, really, really good though. Like it's such a good vibe, really relaxed. Like authors just completely mingling at the party, throughout the party with readers and bloggers and stuff, and it's just so lovely.
Yeah, I think any kind of thing where you can mix like that is great.
Yeah, and you get a really, really lovely bag of goodies as well,
Oh, well,
with
that's always
books in and bookmarks and fridge magnets.
it's always a bonus. We
Yeah.
gave away goodies at our live event that we did in June.
Oh, yes. How did that go?
It went well, and we gave people. There weren't any books in ours because we don't have that kind of budget. But there were like fridge magnets and Yorkshire tea and
Yeah. Oh, lovely. Yum.
things like that.
Yeah. Oh,
And
lush.
it
Are
was
you
nice.
doing another one next year?
We will be doing another one next year.
And where will it be? Do you know?
It's still in decision mode. There may be
Ah,
more than one.
pardon?
There may
Maybe another one.
there may even be more than one.
Oh, more than one. Wow. Awesome. Cool.
So
When are you thinking that? Do you know whenabouts in the year they're going to take place?
I think if we did another one, like a big one, sort of in the north, it'd probably be about June-ish,
Yeah.
and then we'll see.
Yeah. Cool. Exciting. Very exciting.
We'll work it out.
Yeah.
Now I'm on holiday, we can work it out.
Yeah. Lovely. Are you going away anywhere?
No.
What are your summer reads? What's your aim? How many books are you going to read over your school summer holidays?
I do not know. My aim is to finish Arrietty and read The Conspirators because I'm talking to William Shaw tomorrow.
Oh, lovely. I better let you go then so you can crack on with Arrietty.
Well, you've got a minute to
Please
remind
tell
me.
you haven't guessed the twist.
I'm never going to guess the twist. Remind everyone what they're going to go away and buy.
Okay, so Mother Loves Me is my debut. I think it's only about £6 at the moment, the physical copy. So that is the one about the girl whose mum's like really scary and dresses her like a doll, and that one. And then The Cult, which is a scary cult thriller. And this is the check cover, but it doesn't look like that. In the advert for this interview, you'll see what it looks like. It's kind of orange and black and quite creepy looking. It's got kind of Hansel. The whole book has like Hansel and Gretel vibes running through it. And that kind of inspired me actually. And then Arrietty, which is my latest one, which has hopefully twists in it that you will never ever see coming, and hopefully quite a creepy and dark, claustrophobic atmosphere, quite tense, and it ramps up towards the end quite a bit. So yes, that's my books, and thank you for having me on here.
You're always welcome on here anytime.
Thank you so much. Oh, lovely to chat to you again. Sorry, my timer for some reason Oh yeah, we need to give the dogs advocate. That's what it is. we need to give the dogs their flea treatment.
There you
That's
go.
that's what that thing is for. Alexa, stop. There, she's gone.
Thank you so much for joining us, though.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Laura, for tuning in, and Sarah and Sam and everybody. It's really nice that you came in and gave me some book recommendations and stuff.
They will always